Many disgruntled citizens have taken to social media to vent their anger as load shedding continues unabated. This week, some concerned South Africans from the legal fraternity, political organizations and civil society say they'll challenge this matter in court. For one, Build One South Africa leader Mmusi Maimane says all they want is transparency.
All of us will recognize that energy is doubling every 4 years. And without doubt, we've come to a point now where we're paying for a service that is not actually functioning. And given the nature of the state, we believe that the executive, starting with the president, the Minister of Energy, Eskom itself, need to be held accountable. And so we are in consultation with our legal teams to ensure that we can then take this matter to court to ensure a number of issues. The first is to challenge the decision by NERSA to grant an 18% increase. We think that given the inflationary costs that are there and the lack of transparency in the decision-making process, that for both citizens, this will result to an additional 22% if you add municipal costs to it. And it will put a burden on the South African consumer that is already there.
All right, let's get you another view on this particular issue. As you can see there, UDM President Bantu Holomisa joins us via our video link as he tries to straighten his angle. Great to see you, General. Thanks very much indeed for making time to speak to us once again. So, the DA says they're willing to protest Tuli House. Build One South Africa there, Mmusi Maimane saying they're willing to go to court. Which one of them are you willing to support?
The United Democratic Movement will support anything which is intended to get to the bottom of this problem. But however, we do not have energy, especially in this heat, to go and petition the ANC in their head office. Instead, the UDM has chosen to go to court. We will be applicant number one in this case. People must know, I think they are aware that the load shedding has been around for many years with empty promises by the powers that be that they would fix the problem. Government has bailed out Eskom by giving them billions, but giving it billions of rand. Sadly, some of those billions ended up at Tuli House through their company called Chancellor House. Now we are expected to fork out those monies to pay that debt, which was caused by the ANC in the first instance. So therefore, we need to go deeper into this matter. By just marching is not going to help us anymore. The ANC government must go and account in court, and people must be given an opportunity to express themselves, to say no more. So expect, therefore, that from this week we will be joined by other civil society, other political organizations, and also by a fraternity of legal people who have volunteered their services because they are also affected. Key to this is the lack of accountability and transparency. We have been told many a time by the president of this country that watch the space, I'm going to fix this, I'm going to do this. And they have failed dismal so far.
Sure. So help us understand then, General, what exactly you'll be asking the court to do here. Because, I mean, as you can imagine, several people may very well be held liable, so to speak, for where we are today. So what exactly would you be asking the court to do?
Well, firstly, the court must rule as to whether this load shedding, perpetual load shedding, is not violating the constitutional rights of the people of South Africa. And secondly, what guarantees are there that this continuous load shedding is not killing the economy of the country, thereby increasing the rate of unemployment? And thirdly, the security of the country itself cannot be guaranteed under the present arrangement. So the court must guide on that.
Sure.
At least we need to know when will this ever be ended. Because you are told, watch the space, we have put plan in place for the last 13 years. No, please.
Sure. What's your response to people who believe that any kind of litigation won't solve what's actually at the heart of the issue? Many experts have told us that we need to be working on what's called the energy availability factor at Eskom's power plants. The litigation and the accountability is one thing. That certainly has its place. But even if the court were to rule in your favor, that doesn't guarantee that our power stations, for instance, will start working effectively.
Those who argue on that should put more pressure on the government and Eskom, who have been promising us that they are attending to the problem. But we don't know this problem. They have not come up in front and said this is the problem. But perhaps through the courts, we will begin to know what exactly has gone wrong. For instance, why did ANC partnered with their company to fix the Eskom, but the billions of rands ended up in their pockets? That is the Etluthuli house. What if that is also a problem?
Part of what is now taking place, of course, is people are, I guess, entering the kind of framework of having to speculate what's actually going on behind closed doors. I mean, you heard that Musi Maimane speaking about wanting more transparency. There is a narrative out there that where we are has been a deliberate action so that people can get frustrated and become more malleable to accepting a privatization of some sort of Eskom. What's your view of that particular perception?
All what you are saying now is part of this guesswork. People don't know what's going on. Yeah. We want to know it. Verify. The same perception you are presenting to us now, to say this is the route towards privatization. The same thing we witnessed on SAA, which was sold by mere 52 rands. So the truth of the matter is that these guys have failed to run this country. They've ran it down. Anything they touch, it goes down. You go to railways, you go to infrastructure, roads, everything. You go to crime, you go to corruption. They have failed dismally. Now we are sooner going to lose, let's say, the grid. If the grid switches off one day, you can imagine.
Yeah. I wonder, though, whether the UDM supports the notion that, okay, let me ask the question this way. If we were told that a way to solve this issue is, in fact, to privatize Eskom, would that be a move that the UDM supports?
The truth of the matter is that when the Eskom was taken over a few years ago, I think early 2000, Eskom was run smoothly by whoever was running it. They are the people who put infrastructure in the villages and the townships. And at that stage, the rates still were lower. Now, when it was taken over by the government and be under the certain department, public enterprise, this is where we began to see the problems, because the politics or ministers tended to interfere in the running of Eskom, even to the extent of saying which areas must be, they must connect electricity to. So that's why they had an easy access and lied to the people of South Africa and said instead of fixing or servicing the old engines in old plants, they would build a new two power station, Kusile and the other one. What happened then? They went abroad to look for engineering companies. but without telling any other companies in the country. They put their own partner from their pocket, pull their own partner from their pocket. And it turned out that it was Chancellor House, the ANC's investment arm. Where are those billions? Why must we be responsible for that?
All right. There's certainly a lot to think about, especially when you consider just the irreparable harm already being caused by these unprecedented power cuts. Bantu Holomisa, thanks very much indeed for speaking to us. Hopefully we'll see the end of this issue rather sooner than later. Bantu Holomisa, of course, is the leader of the UDM.